Now, now I want to talk about Marcus Mariota, and I want to talk about Jameis Winston. Okay. Now, I live in Florida, so it might have something to do with it, but everybody's so enamored with Jameis Winston. And I like Jameis too. And I'm curious to see how Jameis is going to do in the NFL too. But I am more intrigued by Marcus Mariota. The national media as well. It seems like Jameis Winston, every time I turn on ESPN, there's always a segment about him and not really much about Marcus. And I'd like to hear more about Marcus because Marcus, to me, should have been the number one pick. Like, you understand a little bit when you're like, okay, Jameis Winston, he was the number one pick, so let's see how he's doing. But Marcus, to me, should have been the number one pick. And I thought that the whole time. The whole time. This guy's college numbers were crazy. They were ridiculous. Jameis Winston, we all know when he first burst on the scene, that first year was crazy, phenomenal, right? But Marcus, he was more impressive and had been. Now, let's go over some of the numbers, okay? Let's also keep in mind Jameis played 2 years to Marcus's 3 in college. Florida State, Jameis Winston hits the scene in 2013. His completion percentage is 66.9. He throws for 4,057 yards. His touchdowns, 40. His interceptions, 10. Okay? Great year. Great ratio for touchdowns to interceptions. Can't argue against it, and nobody there would. It was a great year. Now, his second year, last year, 2014, it was still good, but not as good. No, not as good. 65.3, not a big drop. Not a big drop at all. 66.9 to 65.3. Not a big drop at all. Yards, 3,907 as compared to 4,057 the previous year. Okay, so that's only about a 150-yard difference. The touchdowns he threw last year was 25. The interceptions were 18. So 25 to 18. Big difference from 40 to 10, but we know, I mean, it was ridiculous, right? Like, such a phenomenal year for a first-year starter at Florida State. Like, wow, great year. Marcus Mariota, on the other hand, on the other side, 2012 is when he came on the scene for college. 68.5 was his completion percentage. He threw for 2,677 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Man, these are just passing numbers, right? His completion percentage his first year was better. Jameis threw for more yards, more touchdowns. Marcus threw less interceptions. 2013. This is also the year that Jameis hit the scene. Marcus threw for 3,665 yards. His completion percentage was 63.5 as compared to 68.5 the previous year. So a bit of a drop off, but he threw for 1,000 more yards. 31 touchdowns to 32 touchdowns, 4 interceptions from 6 interceptions. Still a really good year. Now, last year, the year that he won the Heisman, 2014, completion percentage back up, 68.3. So his first year was his best year, 68.5. His final year, 68.3. Not too shabby either, right? The yards that he threw for, 4,454. 42 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Again, only 4 interceptions the entire year, with 42 touchdowns and throwing for 4,454 yards. That's ridiculous. That is amazing. So To me, I always thought that Marcus should have been the number one pick, but he gets knocked. Okay, the system that he runs, he's always his shotgun. You gotta teach him how to take a snap, and you're just worried about the wrong things to me because he showed poise, he showed the ability to make quick decisions, and he's shown accuracy. And I didn't know where it started coming from because you started to hear in the offseason things like Marcus said he needs to work on his accuracy from the pocket, and with the things that he showed at Oregon, I mean, look, almost every quarterback that's not top eight could use some more accuracy while they're in the pocket. That's not something to be alarmed at from Marcus because he still showed really good accuracy in the pocket. As a total, he threw 105 touchdowns while he was at Oregon to 14 interceptions. That is unreal. Jameis in 2 years, 65 to 28. Marcus was the number one pick to me. He was the number one pick. Should have been the number one pick. So I'm intrigued to see what he does going forward. I was watching a preseason game with him the other day. And yes, I know it's just preseason, blah. Everybody want to, it's only preseason. Like the guys aren't out there trying, especially not especially whenever you're out there, whoever's on the field. Now, preseason to me is more about the coaches, what they're showing, who they're running out there, when they're running them out there. It's less about the effort that the players are putting forth because the players, when they're out there, first of all, if you're not going full speed, and you hear it from players all the time, if you're in a game and you're not going full speed, you're more likely to get hurt. And you don't think that these guys, these competitors who spent their whole life competing, that when they line up from another man, that they don't want to beat the man across from them? Come on. You're not going to convince me of that for 1 second, okay? You're just not. So Marcus Mariota, he's playing in the preseason game. He's got guys coming after him. The play starts to break down. He has the wherewithal to get out of the pocket, throw the ball out of bounds. He makes, while he's about to get tackled. He doesn't have but a split second, but he makes such a smart decision. And that's just one nugget right there. Things that you don't really see from young quarterbacks, this early on in their rookie year. It was only the second preseason game. He's like, oh, I don't have nothing. These guys are on my tail. Let me get rid of this ball. Live to fight another day. Now, Jameis, he's also showed a lot of poise, but he doesn't have a lot of time because that offensive line is shaky. So if that boy doesn't get help on the offensive line, he's just going to be getting beat up all year, and that would be extremely unfortunate. But look, Marcus Mariota is a guy that I want to be focused on more. Okay, you talk about Jameis Winston is more pro ready because of the style of offense that he ran, but the NFL is ever evolving, and I think that Marcus has showed the poise, the intelligence, the accuracy, and the consistency to where he should have been the number one pick, and he should be getting a lot more coverage than I've been seeing him get because I'm extremely intrigued by this young man and what he's going to do in the National Football League.